There's another big controversy brewing with the Cowboys. Sean Lee is coming back into the starting position. We all think that he plays great. He's a fantastic player, very fast, good tackler. However, his replacement may be playing better. Van Der Esch, the rookie, is doing a fantastic job. You can see the improvement that he's had from week 1 to now. And the question is, do we put Sean Lee back in, or does he come off the bench?
I say he comes off the bench. Van Der Esch has been doing an awesome job. Open field tackles on running backs that normally don't get tackled in the open field. This man is leading his team in tackles. He has interceptions. He's tipping balls all over the place. He doesn't miss tackles.
See, but I think Sean Lee can be that guy too. And he has been that guy in the past. The only thing is he battles injuries. So now you know you have a good backup for him.
I think that this guy is even better. Faster, bigger, does basically the same thing. He's there on the passes. I've seen Sean Lee miss a lot more tackles. Of course, he's played a lot longer. But I've seen Sean Lee miss open tackles in the open a lot more than Van Der Esch has.
See, I think Sean Lee brings something that Van Der Esch can't bring. And I think that's the whole coaching aspect. He has a coach's mind on the field. And I think that helps the whole defense.
That's why he can help him on the sideline a lot better than he can help him on the field. So one other thing,
and I think since he's like the quarterback for the defense, I think Sean Lee does have that on Van Der Esch. He knows, he studies the defense as well. It's been documented that he is a great student of the game, and he studies the other offenses very well, and he knows what's coming his way.
And the success,
I think that's what makes him great.
The success of the linebackers that are playing right now, which is Jaden Smith and Van Der Esch, is coming probably from him. But some people are better coaches than they are going to help out in the field. He's a great player too, but these guys are young.
Do you think that he should just stay on the bench then? Or
I think Sean Lee should be the starter. Van Der Esch should come off the bench and spot play.
I see it the other way around.
Sean Lee's been prone to injury, so you know you have a great backup.
Yeah.
But either or, I think they're in good hands with both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I see it a lot like what happened with Romo and Dak.
So what do you want to see next game? Who do you want to see on the field?
Tony Romo.
Who do you want to see on the field? No, which one do you want to see?
Sean Lee.
I think that I want to see both of them play.
Starting.
Van Der Esch. I think I do think he's maybe a little faster. He's a little bigger.
He's bringing the swag now. He's catching it.
He's a good tackler. But I do want to see Sean Lee on the field.
I do want to see.
And the only reason I say that maybe he should come off the bench is because he's prone to get hurt a lot, and because he gets hurt a lot, I think the more he's on the field, he runs and he pulls hamstring.
They play the same position. Do you think that they can switch off and have them both on the field at the same time?
I think so.
I think what was it? They've only played 19 snaps together.
You have Jaden Smith, you have Van Der Esch, and you have Sean Lee. That's great. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that would be good too.
I think that would work. I mean, that'd be perfect. And you have the best of both worlds. They're both fast. They both know.
You know that the talk on Jaden Smith last year and when he was rehabbing was that he was going to be great, the most awesome linebacker that we picked up.
And he's doing good.
No, he's doing good. But I think that Van Der Esch has outdone him.
I think so far. I think they're both complementing each other very well. I think they both played fantastic. And I love to see both of them play. And they're young, and this defense is going to be great for the next 3 to 4 years. And I think we have a chance to go to the Super Bowl
this year. I think so too.
So,
book it.
The next question I have, who do you think is going to be at the Super Bowl this year?
Cowboys. No. In all honesty, I think it's probably going to be the Rams.
The Rams.
And in the AFC, I don't know.
Okay, I think...
How about the Chiefs? You went with Mahomes?
You see, they lost Hunt recently, so we just talked about that. Okay. So I think they're going to have a little bit of trouble on their hands.
Yeah, I think they do have trouble on their hands. I think on the NFC side, I think the Rams may be in the championship game. I'm crossing my
How
fingers.
about the other Texas team
I'm-
that has been on a 7-game winning streak?
I think that's a fluke.
They don't count. I'm crossing my fingers that the Cowboys are actually going to make it into the playoffs by winning their division and being the third team, not the fourth, because the Bears did lose today. So hopefully the Cowboys can keep on winning. Then maybe we'll get a little better position. Maybe get a playoff home game, which would be great. And I'm hoping that the Cowboys can make it to the championship game. If the defense keeps on playing the way they played against New Orleans, who can beat them?
Ooh, that would be a topic on its own.
Who can beat them?
I think there's going to be a little competition because our offense needs to step up. But if the offense steps up and can score points, I think we're going to.
So you're saying our offense can beat us?
That's the only person. That's the only team that can beat us.
So then, if you don't take all that into consideration, Rams and the Chiefs.
Rams and the Chiefs.
Rams and the Chiefs.
I'm
Saints might get in there too.
Yeah.
Might be one game fluke where they couldn't score points.
So
No,
the
I
Patriots
think
what about the Patriots? Any chance of them making it?
I don't
well,
think so.
no, I think so. There's always a chance for.
Yeah,
the
they're winning
Patriots
right
to-
now, 10-7. So, and they're 8-3. They're gonna be 9-3. They're gonna have like always they get home field because who's the next best team next to them in their division? Miami, and they've been losing like crazy. So they never have competition in their division. So they always have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
And they're cheaters.
They deflate balls. So
They deflate balls.
so that doesn't count.
Like those up there.
So let's change the topic now to Conor McGregor. I personally don't like the guy. I think that he's overrated, and I want to know what these guys think.
As a fighter, I think he's a great fighter. I think he's a great businessman, and he's a genius at making money. That's what I think.
And definitely he makes money, and his mouth makes money for him. The way he carries himself is
You mean that walk thing?
not just the walk. It's all of it. It's all the swag. Everything he has about him. He sells himself, and he didn't have to be a great fighter.
He's not. a
He
great fighter.
sold himself with his mouth, with the way he carries himself, and made himself $100 million.
He's a two-time, two-weight division world champion in the UFC. How could he not be considered a great fighter? It's the UFC where the greatest fighters are all.
Oh no! Those are not the greatest fighters.
You think boxing is the greatest fighter?
Greatest fighters.
Well, like McGregor said, his pillow fight with Mayweather paid him $100 million. So that pillow fight, he got rich off that pillow fight, went back to real fighting, and now he's going to reclaim his title. He was a little rusty in that fight against...
I don't think Conor McGregor could have beat any boxer the way he was punching like tomahawks. And,
Well, he went 7 rounds with the best ever. So I'd like to see him in there with Paulie Malignaggi. What's his name? Whatever that guy is, talking smack to him.
I would have liked to see him in there with Sugar Ray Leonard. I think he would have destroyed him in a couple of rounds.
Oh no! It wasn't even a contest. He sold that fight. He wasn't gonna beat a boxer. He wasn't gonna. Not in a boxing ring.
He was there for the money.
He was there for the money, which
you
is
put
part
him-
of his genius. But in a real fight,
If you put those men
they
in the
real fight, not
octagon,
boxing.
Yeah, in a real
So
fight.
so you're saying he's not a great fighter? In a real fight, he could take any of those guys. And in a real fight, you could kick, you could elbow, you can knee.
I happened to go
Yes.
to one of his fights. He was the underdog. He fought Jose Aldo. It was a huge fight in Vegas.
He was the underdog.
He was the underdog.
Jose Aldo hadn't lost in 10 years.
Jose Aldo,
And he knocked him out in 13 seconds. So to tell me he's not a great fighter,
13-second knockout.
I think
Wow.
he's a great fighter.
You think he's a great fighter?
I think he's a great
I
fighter.
don't think he's a great fighter.
Well,
I think yes. Outside of the boxing ring, yeah, he's probably a great fighter. He can probably beat anybody because he knows his
If he
moves.
matches up with people his own
yeah,
weight,
yeah, he can't
if he,
be-
he
cannot
cannot be jumping weights the way he wants to jump weights. If he goes down in his weight, he is a great fighter.
right, but he can't beat Chuck Norris. Can't beat Chuck Norris.
I bet to differ.
No, he can't be Chuck.
So no. I personally prefer boxing, and I know that if you put them outside of the ring, I think MMA, UFC fighters are probably going to beat every boxer because boxers can't kick, and
So then you're saying that boxers are not great fighters.
I think they're great fighters in the ring.
They're great,
Great
boxers. Okay.
Yeah, they're great fighters in the ring. That's what I said. Okay, now we're gonna go back to a little bit of football. I want to know who is the best NFL football player today. We'll start there.
I think it's Patrick Mahomes. You see, looking at his numbers, 3,628 pass yards, 37 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. I think he's the MVP of the league right now, and that's why he's the top runner for the MVP.
Do you think that people are looking at Patrick Mahomes like they looked at Dak when Dak started off, that everyone thought Dak was the greatest quarterback ever? Do you think it's going to happen where he's going to have a down year and people will start looking differently at him?
Well, looking at his numbers, I think he's a little more ahead of where Dak was. Dak's was a rookie year. So I think he's ahead of Dak right now.
So what are you saying? He can throw the deep ball?
He can throw any ball.
So I'm saying that he compares a lot to RG3 when RG3 came out. First year, he was amazing. I thought the Cowboys were going to have to play against this guy for the next 10, 12 years, which was, making my heart pound. But what happened to him?
I was afraid of Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah,
and look where he is now.
Yeah, look where he is now, man.
Colin Kaepernick was better than RG3 in my opinion. RG3, I don't think could carry a team the way Patrick Mahomes is. He's leading that team, and they have one of the best records in the league right now. So.
Yeah, but I think also when you try to compare him to Dak, and you go maybe because this guy's surrounded with so much talent right now. I mean, a lot of minus one player, of course, but he has so much talent around him. Just like Dak had in the first season that he was there. He had such a great line. They were protecting him so well that he can get the ball out with no problems, and that's why they were winning games. He does have 10 interceptions. He does throw the ball a little bit crazy sometimes. He's a great thrower, but he can throw a lot of interceptions. He doesn't mind. He comes right back and he does better the next time around. But I think he's not the best player yet because he's still learning. And I think that he still has a lot of room to grow.
And 10 interceptions isn't too many.
Especially with the amount of attempts he's taking per game.
He throws the ball a lot, and 10 interceptions is not too many. But he does throw.
So do we think he's better than Breeze, though?
I think he is better than Breeze.
You do?
I think he's better than Breeze.
At this point in time, Breeze cannot move around as much. Breeze is super accurate, and he can get the passes to his receivers, but you cannot be in his face. And he cannot move around as much as he...
How many of Breeze stats come from dumping the ball off to Alvin Kamara? You see how many touchdown passes he thrown to Alvin Kamara where he just dumps it off and Kamara does all the work? You see, Breeze has some athletes around him too, so...
He does have great athletes. He's done it for a lot longer, though. So we know that once you've been there for a long time that you can do it. I'm going to say that Mahomes next year is going to be a bust.
You're going to say he's a bust?
I'm not going to say he's a bust because he has proven, the games that I watched him play in, he's proven to me that he's pretty solid.
If he has the same cast around him, I predict the same outcome.
All right. I say bust. Anyway, so let's go on. Wait, before we move on, I want to point, I didn't even tell you who I thought was the best player in the league, and that is Zeke Elliott. I'm a Cowboy fan, but Zeke Elliott is the best player in the NFL, and I'll tell you why right now. He's running. He doesn't have the best line right now. They're really counting on him. They don't have the greatest receivers. Now they have one great receiver that they got now, and I think that guy is going to open it up even more for Zeke. But in the meantime, he was running against 8 guys in the box every single down, and he still has over 1,000 yards this season, doing great and doing fantastic.
Zeke is a great back. But if you see, after the coaching change at the offensive line, that line has been producing, not even with the starters, with the second team guys. And he's been getting over 120 yards, except I don't know how many yards he made this last week.
In the 70s, I think.
Yeah.
But the coaching change in the line has really helped out.
Mark Colombo has helped out with the offensive line. But even then, even before
he's not even the most dangerous back. Who do you want catching a screen pass? Elliott for you or Kamara? Tyreek Hill
Elliott.
Or
No.
Not
You see,
quite.
Kamara's a different kind of threat. Kamara's a big play threat every single time he gets the ball.
But I'm saying he's not the best at running because then you have Gurley.
You see,
You have
I'm a big Zeke fan, especially because I have him on my fantasy team.
Yes.
But if I were to have a choice, I would have Gurley on my fantasy team instead of Zeke. And that's because he's just a touchdown machine.
I think he's a touchdown machine because they have great players. They have a very good quarterback that can get the ball to these great receivers, and it opens up for him. So I don't think he's better than
Do you
Zeke.
think Jared Goff would be that quarterback without
Yes.
Gurley?
Yes.
I think we had a season without Gurley, and I don't think he was that quarterback.
Well, last year he wasn't that quarterback at all. With or without, 20 players in the field or anything, he was not that quarterback. But he did improve. And I think now we see that Goff is great. But I don't think Gurley can do what Zeke is doing.
So Zeke for you is number one.
Zeke
As
for
a
me
back.
is number one.
What
He's
number
better
would you
than-
put Zeke at?
I would put him at number 2.
Number two.
Number 2 behind Gurley.
Behind Gurley.
And if you look at the history of the Cowboys, I think that Zeke is better than Emmitt Smith.
I agree with that, actually.
Oh yes, we were talking about that the other day, and Zeke is so much better than Emmitt Smith. This guy would have killed it with the line that Emmitt Smith had.
Yes, he would have got 2,000 yards.
Plus.
So we can agree on
seasons.
that. Zeke's better than Emmitt Smith.
Okay, we'll agree with that.
So is he going to be the all-time leading rusher in the NFL?
The way he's running the ball, getting 20 plus
If
carries.
he doesn't get hurt,
Is he going to last that long in the NFL?
maybe not, because he jumps over everybody, and that's not a good
He needs
way
to be a little
do
bit
it.
smarter.
He's not going to
Yeah.
be hurling in a couple of years.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.